Okay, you guys, I need to post this video. There was a video that I saw last night. It resonated with me. There's a guy on TikTok. His name is Josh. I can't remember the last part of his name, but I am going to tag him in this video. I told him that I was going to do a response to his video, and he was like, let's do it, and I'm going to do it. Each part of the video, I'm going to give a reply based on the points that he's making. I was like, oh shit, okay, I need to do this. You guys give it a listen and enjoy this video.
It's time for another unpopular gay male hot take. Gay men are some of the most visually brutal creatures that I've ever encountered.
That's factual, but let's continue.
And I say that as one of them. We talk about preferences like it's this sacred personal thing that can't be questioned. And look, preference is real. I can't force you to be attracted to anyone. There's a huge difference between preference and policy. And I think a lot of us are running policy.
That gave me a flashback. There was a friend of mine. He was on the panel. He has been known to date people who are younger than him. He's like 42. So he said this. People around his age, he doesn't date because they don't take care of themselves. So, and it's just so fun because this other person I know said the same thing. What really kind of disappointed me was when he said, in gay culture, there's a standard that people should adhere to. I mean, I guess pretty privileged. So on the panel, there were other guys that were not the standard of beauty in the gay community or the culture that he was referring to. So he was going at it with a few of the guys on the panel, calling them all kind of fat motherfuckers. No one should be attracted to you. I said this, what if you are with someone that's in the culture, but he ends up sick, which causes him to gain weight? Medications that he may be taking makes him gain weight. What are you going to do then based on how he was before to now being in this predicament or dealing with a condition? He said, is it money involved? I said, take away the money. And then he said, hell no. If there's no money involved, I'm not going to be into that person anymore. Let's continue.
When your type excludes every male of color and or over 200 pounds and or doesn't have a jawline and or doesn't have a gym body and or doesn't match whatever aesthetic keeps popping up on your FYP, that's no longer just a preference. That's a bias trying to introduce itself politely.
Listen, I was in my teens and 20s. I was into a certain aesthetic as far as like guys are concerned. I was born and raised in Florida. I preferred men of color, mainly black men, and Latino men every now and then. I was not vibing with white men at all. This was in my teens, 20s. The first white guy that I had encountered was a ginger. He worked as a music professor at a private college, which happens to be religious in Central Florida. I was like, okay, well, I'm really feeling him. He's really nice. I went to his house. He pulled down his pants, and I was like, oh my God. I had this idea that people of the YT community were not blessed. This motherfucker was blessed. I was like, oh shit. And then the things that he did, it turned me out. And I was like, okay. I mean, that opened the door for me to be open to whomever. That was just little progress. But it caused me to be open to other ethnicities. On the flip side, I had to tell the difference between if someone really wanted to get to know me or someone just wanted me as their dirty little secret. They'll mess with me behind closed doors, but they won't introduce me to their friends and their family. But let's continue.
If you listen closely, I found that your type might actually be telling you something. I'll use myself as an example. I am 6 foot, 250 pounds. Physically, I am attracted to bigger guys. 6'1", 275 pounds of spring steel and rawhide, that's my type. I just kind of left it at that. Then I started thinking, and I came to the conclusion that healers want to be protected. And I associate that with bigger framed men, even though that's not always the case. I'm not telling you to date someone that you're not attracted to. We know that's not going to happen, and that's not what this is. Asking when was the last time you actually questioned your type? Not defended, questioned.
I questioned my type after I divorced my ex-husband. And in the mix of that, I started to be more open to sexual positions. I started to explore more my sexuality to the point of being open to trans men. Now that I'm 40, I'm open to whatever feels right, if the vibe is right. The presentation, I'm not fixated on that. Well, just as long as you take care of yourself, let me clarify, older or younger, that all that matters to me. The presentation, I don't care, but let's continue.
From what I've seen, most of our check boxes came from the same environment, the same spaces, the same porn, the same gay spaces where only one body is put up on a pedestal. I think anything we absorb without questioning actually deserves a look. So, who or what taught you your type?
I just want to go back and say who or what taught me my preference. It was based on the locality where I was raised. Although I went to an integrated school, I think this has a lot to do with it. We were still segregated because we only hung out with whomever, because you had black friends, you had the Latino friends, then you have the preps, you had the jocks, the band geeks. Me, I was in band. So although I was interacting with so many different backgrounds, what was instilled in me is not to be dating outside of your race. Although I have cousins till this day that are biracial. I have one cousin that is Puerto Rican and black. I have 4 cousins who are mixed with Greek and black. I feel like that opened the door for me from the beginning, like a little bit. I can tell you that was the cause of my preferences. Today, what I can say, all men are the same, regardless of the presentation, regardless of the preference. All these motherfuckers are still the same. Y'all have a good day.